Peace, salam. Uh, Things are going well. I've just dropped in for a quick update because things are absolutely insane. What is my update? Well, I had some nice days. I haven't had much cannabis, so I haven't been doing much like academic stuff. But yesterday I walked for about 16 miles, which isn't uncommon, but yesterday I sort of counted. Yesterday when I got back in from my walk, I counted. Usually I don't like to spend much time in my room. I wake up, I walk around, and when it's late, I come in. So I walked about 16 miles yesterday and realized that that's quite normal for me. Now today, I didn't do that. I went outside and I had been discussing some things. I had a very good conversation. And then I decided to go preaching outside King's Cross Station. There's preachers there the whole time. And why don't I do that? It's a strange thing to decide to get up and do, but I went. And so I went with a musical instrument, which I put in the bin whilst I was on my way home to try and disguise the fact that I had been a little bit original, because I got in trouble. I got in trouble today with armed guards with like infinite threat and fret. What? So I want to just explain that, because it can't even be that I'm still on the heat, and that someone will grab me. It's funny actually, because these are the mental health guards, and they're the scariest ones because they don't need to give you a trial. And what had happened is I recorded about half an hour of it, so I think that I was preaching for like an hour with a rubber band box that was just made of the lid of a shoebox this time. So you got like very, very minimal. Didn't wasn't very loud, but I had my amplifier and figured out a new thing with a hook that I can do with it. So that was good. And what did I do? Played this for a little bit, looked weird on the street, recited some Quran without any accompaniment. Little bit of, I don't know, like Qawali. I have a song that I made up that goes Suhur, Assam, Aliftar, La ilaha illallah, and Sukun, Al-Fatah, Fitra, La ilaha illallah, and this kind of thing. And so anyway, just being weird in public and like trying to, I called for peace a few times, and I said the truth is going to come all at once, and peace is going to come all at once, and we're going to get rid of the police and stuff like that. And so this was really successful. No one really minded. And again, for my weirdness, it's like one person came to sat and listen, and she was a mom with her children. She was a Muslima, which there's no, like, everyone else doesn't know what I'm up to. Everyone else doesn't know what I'm up to, but the Muslims know what I'm up to because I'm doing book stuff. And no one else reads the book. It seems like only to my eyes, but I don't know what everyone's thinking. Anyway, after this, I'm walking along and I can show you what I did, or I can show you what incited me. I had this stick, which was part of my musical instrument, to jam up the. I had this speaker, amplify the musical instrument. We're getting to it because I want to tell you about the threat that I got afterwards, but I'm just laying all the context. I went out, I preached Islam and Christianity, and the Muslim lady didn't mind, so that's good. Like the mental health people who are paid by someone to not use their own judgment, they're not going to get what I'm saying. I'm saying you make your own decisions in life. That's, oh, yeah, there, okay. Oh. Shop, eat, drink, play. That says store. That says the Shelter Boutique as a proxy for charity. And that doesn't need to be in public. Like, not 30 years ago, that would be the kind of stuff that's reserved for a special magazine that if you were a little teenage boy, you'd be very excited to have in a lingerie catalog, and you take it into your bedroom and you keep it private. But when you're chopping up bodies and losing them that way in a society which doesn't give equality to women, in fact, doesn't give any respect to women, and has this kind of thing going on, then no, it is crass. This is rape culture in action. I took a picture of rape culture. As far as I can define it, I don't think I'm ever going to get a better picture of rape culture. And yeah, I'm really angry. So we saw that picture. I'm going to get it up one more time, just for my own freaking purposes. Beautiful ladies getting paid to be naked so everyone can stare at them, being paid for so that everyone who doesn't get to choose it has to consume these images which are enticing you to shop, eat, drink, and play by stimulating physiological response which you don't control to. This is getting people involved. That's a sex act. If you're trying to turn me on, which, they're hot. That's a sex act. That's a sex act that I get whilst I'm walking down the street. And whilst that's okay, then rape is okay. Because it just, I observe these things. What are you teaching people? That that's a thing to be consumed, and in fact forcefully consumed. So instead of getting angry about it, on the wall, right on the sign, not near the ladies, but in the blank space of the image, because I was hitting the image, I go, I thought that was a pretty good sign. Just be out in public going, because I walked past that a million times, and that's the one picture I didn't notice. I noticed some of the other pictures. I know, but I just never saw that. There's no faces in it. I don't know. It just didn't leap out at me. But today, this place that I walk very often, just outside King's Cross Station, I saw it, and I went, holy. So, and I did it for a bit, and I got into it. I worked up a sweat. And yeah, I sort of saw the symbology going on that it's a bit like lashing. So I'm making a public statement quietly. Only the sound of the thing. So did it? No, there are things to be consumed. No one really decides it. It just needs to be pointed out. So there's me. After very peaceful recitation and unvain sound making that wasn't particularly like trying to project music or something, and on within the limits of the line of permissibility is like the banging of a daff at a wedding. Happy songs are allowed on Eid, and a daff, well, it's an unembellished drum. A drum with an elastic band around it is like, from my own ijtihad, the line of permissibility I'm into. I don't really want to do it very much, and when peace comes, I'm not going to do it at all. But right now, it's a thing I have at my disposal that can make people not think that they know all of Islam without having questioned it, particularly the atheists, and other people. Whatever. We live in a society that has stereotypes about Muslims. There's me doing something that I consider pretty Islamic, to be honest, but that no one's seen, and so good. And then I don't know if that's Islamic or not, but I'm trying to point out something that's just, I'm not making it up. I'm not making up rape culture. I'm identifying it with a stick. And so if I said I was doing it for quite a bit, if I did it for 2 full minutes, maybe, and then this guy in a big shiny jacket, I'm like, oh no, I'm in trouble. It's the security. And then I read on his thing, medic. He's looking at me, he's on his phone, he's got the camera on me. I'm like, oh, I don't usually do well with the medics. they're gonna want to understand me before they let me go, instead of accuse me of some crime, which I could say, no, I haven't done that. It gets better. So I walk straight past, and I'm trying to get away, but I see him on the phone, and I know that there's a million weapon dudes around here, all with their different shiny jackets and labels. So I walk back to him and say, is everything okay? Am I in trouble? So, well, you were just causing criminal damage. I've been locked up for criminal damage. That was white chalk. I can tell the difference between white chalk, which leaves a mark, where I got imprisoned in the transgendered and rape people section, the sex offenders rape, and trans women section in Pentonville prison, which has the rainbow flag. I haven't taken a picture of it yet. I know the difference between that, the white chalk that I got imprisoned for, and banging on a picture, because if I was leaving a mark, I wouldn't have done it. Because I'm terrified. I'm terrified, especially of the medics, because they want to understand me. How am I going to come across as sane to them when I don't dress like them? I can't. So I walk away. I turn around the corner. I take everything off. I was wearing my prison jumper. I take off my scarf. That's a way to trigger people who don't know that Muslims are allowed to take off and on their scarves. The chest is but if I had completely changed outfits when I changed around the corner, which I kind of did, I took off my skirt and I had trousers under it, good utility suit here. But then of course they they caught up with me anyhow, and I really do just prefer being covered, and I don't care how. What else? Okay, so then they start carrying the two of them now are chasing me on bicycles because the first guy, the instigator, the one who's like, oh my gosh, we might need to imprison that person who was tapping me on bicycles because the first guy, the instigator, the one who's like, oh my gosh, we might need to imprison that person who was tapping. That's why they chased me on their bicycles, the medics, to try and arrest me. And they didn't let me go until I just walked away. Right? There's two now on bicycles. I move on a little bit. I think he must have hung back so that I could move a bit. Well, he must have gotten the guy on the bicycle. And now the two people on bicycles following me very, very slowly in this weird chase scene. High chase scene. The stakes are huge. What they intend to do with me if they think that I'm unwell. I've seen it. And it had nothing like being put as a transgendered woman into the sex offenders and transgendered women section in a prison. Nothing. Give me that any day of the week over what these medics were intending to do if I didn't pass their test. What is their test? They don't have a test. That's why they're fucking scary. That's why I'm happy, thrilled to take off all of my clothes in public, to leave on other clothes. Even though it means taking off my scarf, because that's dangerous. I'm not scared of anything but God and fucking medics. I'm sorry, it's weakness in my heart. And absolutely, it's the truth. Big hard gangs, nothing. Police, I deride them every chance I get. Medics, they've got no rules. They don't give you anything to counter. I'm a logician. They locked me up. All I did was logic. They don't care. If you think you can, if you think you can say about something, that doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense to you. And that's violent egocentric mania and plain irrationality. So, doing Quran. I mean, I shouted out in a Christian country that God doesn't have a son. I do mean it. I've read the Gospels. I got away from the people on the bicycles. Well, they came up to me and I said, what am I in trouble? They're all about criminal damage now. Both of them have said, what's the concern about me? You were causing criminal damage. How was I causing criminal damage? I was hitting a picture with a stick. That's insanity. In fact, there's no way that the stick could hit breaks the big wooden board. I couldn't cause criminal damage. I made some little scuffs on the paint. You wouldn't even notice. And like in the blank bit,